Ian Mackenzie hated funerals. He especially hated Dawe, overly long funerals that dragged family and friends out to the side of a damp grave in the middle of a Scottish December, wind coming off the hills to chill the bone. The only warmth was Beth, standing at his side like a bright flame. She wore a dark grey frock trimmed with black, in keeping with the solemn occasion, but she could have been dressed in fiery red for the heat that suffused Ian. Because of Beth, he was able to come today and pay his respects to an old neighbour. The minister droned on about man being cut down like a fly in his prime. Ridiculous, because Mrs. McCrae had been 90. A Sassenach from northern England, she'd married the lad in the next valley, a crony of Ian's father. Now Mrs. McCrae and her husband were gone, and her sons, tall Scots lads who'd already produced more tall Scots lads, would take over the lands. The funeral ended, sombre to the lost. The McCraes had been very stern, very Scots, very Protestant, Mrs. McCrae just as stern as her husband. Decadence strictly forbidden, and the Mackenzies, her neighbours, were so very decadent. "'Twill be quieter around these parts without her, that's certain," Mac Mackenzie said as they walked home, Beth close to Ian, Mac arm in arm with his wife, Isabella. Hart rode back in his carriage, the Duke of Kilmorgan ever aware of his dignity. He'd come alone, as Eleanor, his new bride, was too far gone with their first child to make the journey to the Chill funeral. "She never spoke except in the voice that would shatter glass," Mac went on. He put on a falsetto. "Roland Mackenzie, when are you going to leave off painting that trash and settle yourself like a gentleman? You disgrace yourself, your family, and your father." I can still hear her, poor woman. "Surely she left off after your marriage turned happy," Beth said behind him. "And you produced a son and heir." "No." Mac turned to flash his wide grin. "That was last week." "She went swiftly, which was a mercy," Isabella said. Wind stirred the dark blue feathers in her hat and Mac's reddish hair. "She was working in her garden, never felt a thing." "That's how I want to go," Mac said. "Walking upright one moment, flat on my nose the next." Isabella moved a step closer to him. "Let us not speak of it." "Aye," Cameron Mackenzie said. A sharp gust billowed back his long black coat and shoved his hair from his sharp face. "Too many bloody funerals in this family already." Ainsley slid an arm around his waist. Cameron, the largest Mackenzie, bent his head as he pulled his wife to him. Ian felt Beth close on him as well, her gloved hands on his arm. All thoughts of funerals, old Mrs. McCrae, and cold Scots winters dissolved. Ian had Beth, and nothing else mattered. They walked down the hill to the valley that held Kilmorgan Castle. Kilmorgan Castle was a large manor house, the old castle having been destroyed 100 and more years ago in the Jacobite Rebellion. Malcolm Mackenzie, who'd survived the Battle of Culloden Moor, had raised a gigantic Georgian structure in its place. Ian, as always, felt lighter as he beheld the beautiful symmetry of the house. 4 wings of identical dimensions running back from a long perpendicular wing. The long wing was proportional to the 4 shorter wings by exactly 2 to 1, not an inch out of place. The height of the house likewise was pleasingly proportional to its breadth and depth. Ian had studied the house meticulously over the years, measuring it to the last fraction. His father had tried to beat the obsession out of him, but Ian had taken comfort in the precise calculations. Behind the house, formal gardens had been laid out in the same kind of mirrored symmetry. Mac said he found the entire setup stifling, but the astonishing simplicity of the house and gardens had helped keep the young Ian from complete despair. Now he shared this beauty with Beth. He shared so many things with her. The house's massive front hall welcomed them with warmth, made still more cheerful by the greenery and ribbons the ladies of the house had hung here, there, and everywhere. "Like I'm walking through a bloody woods," Hart had growled, but without any true rancour behind his words. Curry, Ian's valet, met them in the hall and ushered the family into the private dining room, where warm tea, coffee, whiskey, wine, and plenty of food awaited them.